For this lecture, we're going to take a look at the workflow that you're seeing here, and it is one that showcases a number of important characteristics about ComfyUI. It shows the flexibility of ComfyUI and the ability to work with workflows that can adjust to different situations. It benchmarks one of the most important features inside of ComfyUI. It benchmarks the ability to access RAM, and not just RAM on the GPU, but also RAM in the system. So it's a benchmarking workflow, and it provides a framework that you might be able to use for complex workflows that require different stages. So you can adapt this and use it for your own purposes. Now, I am still using this kind of in exploratory mode. So I'm still developing it, but so far it's proved to be very beneficial. We'll start off with the benchmarking idea, and that is one which is very easy to explain. We're using here the QWEN models, and these are really powerful models which come out of the QWEN labs. Now, QWEN image was released basically last year, but it has been updated very significantly recently, and we're going to be using some of the more updated versions of the model. The model is what's known as a MMDIT model, a multimedia model, and it is exceptionally powerful, especially for its size. There's more information here, but it's pretty clear that the QWEN labs are very happy with the outcome. It's one which is open source, but it does rank very well. You can see here in the leaderboard that it's up there with some of the very best in the industry. It's actually beating Gemini 2.5, the Flash version, a little bit before Seedream. But this is a really, really powerful model, and it's also a very large model, and that size is the reason why we're going to be using it for benchmarking. Now, the page here contains all of the details for using it. Unfortunately, the image doesn't load. I did double check, but we're going to take a look at the ComfyUI workflow. And the first thing I want to explain in the workflow is that you do have some instructions here. Now, the instructions become fairly routine now, and they explain what's happening with the model. An important factor here is that the model in the workflow in this workflow have been updated since this template was released. So we're actually using different models than the ones that are stated here. When you bring this workflow into ComfyUI, it should prompt you to download the models that you need. Otherwise, you can see the models here, and these are the ones that are required for this particular workflow. You can use the traditional models, the ones that were initially there. They produce interesting effects. I wouldn't say they're necessarily optimal, but they are the ones that are in the original template. They work, but I think these work with fewer issues. So what we have is a model loader, which loads the models. The models are huge. We have a text loader, text encoder loader, and the text model is also huge. So it ends up being a massive amount of strain on the system, and that's what makes it valuable for benchmarking. It requires about 56 gigabytes of memory. And if you have something like an 8 gigabyte card, that is going to be a real struggle. But if you've got something like a 16 gigabyte card, plus you've got, let's say, 128 gigs of system memory, because of the really, really intelligent way ComfyUI handles memory, or the way it handles models, you should be able to use it as long as you've got a very large amount of system memory. And I would say 128 gigabytes is perfectly usable. If you've got, say, closer to about 96 gigabytes, it's going to be maybe not quite as stable as you would wish. But anything 128 gigabytes and above, 192, going up to 256, you should be fine. It should work fine. I would say it's tested with a 16 gigabyte GPU. The ones that is really designed for this workflow is designed for working with NVIDIA graphics cards from the 4000 series and the 5000 series. That's the Blackwell and the Ada Lovelace generation. But you can try it with other GPUs. It may not be quite as simple to work with. Now, the amount of time that it takes for running this particular workflow is actually about 5-6 minutes. It's not too long. We're looking at 5 to 6 minutes. And most of that is actually spent in one particular section, which is this section here, where we run the full model. And we run the full model for, if I just zoom in, a full 26 steps. Now, the way I've set this up, it should be taking about the maximum amount of time that it will take on any setup. So if you've got a 16 gigabyte 40 series or 50 series card, it will probably run quite a bit faster. I'm kind of benchmarking it on a very, very, very old system and trying to see how reliable it is. So the benchmarking is, number one, if you can get it to run, and what you'll see as you're running it is that it's going to be super, super slow on the first run. Super slow, painfully slow. That's going to depend on your storage to a large extent. And if your storage is fast, it won't take that long, but it's going to be slower on the first run. On the second run, you should then see what kind of results you're getting. But I think the results speak for themselves. The ability of this model is pretty remarkable. Take a look at this image here. This image is a full 1.5 to 2 megapixels. It is obviously in landscape orientation, and the quality is amazing. Now, for this particular workflow, the emphasis is on the back. It's actually not on the person, so I'm not pixel peeping the person's face or the level of detail. But this is the part that takes quite a long time. What's remarkable about it is that these two here, these two don't take anything more than about 20-30 seconds to complete. Same size. You can see there's quite a lot less detail in the first one. In the second one, and we're using a technique that I first uncovered with Stable Diffusion XL, with SDXL. The second one runs through a second step, and the second step is a little bit like the refiner step in SDXL. So I've actually structured this workflow in a very similar way to the way that we use SDXL. Now, the details, we can take a quick look at them. So in SDXL, we do have two samplers, one which runs the base model and the other one which runs the refiner model. In this particular situation, I'm running the base model here and I'm running the refiner model here. But to understand this, it's a little bit difficult. We need to turn on the noodles to see how everything is connected. I don't want to go there yet. I just want to finish off the benchmarking aspect of it. So what we're looking for is quality, we're looking at timescales, and we're looking for completion. Can you complete this? If you can complete this, then you can get very high quality images within about 5 minutes, almost certainly a lot less. With an RTX 5090, you're going to be talking about this entire workflow completing in a minute. You'll be able to come up with lots and lots of these very quickly. If you haven't got enough system RAM, it's not going to complete, or it will take just forever. But if you've got a 4000 series, 5000 series NVIDIA GPU, this should be doable, and it produces fantastic results. As long as the prompting is good, you'll get something really cool out of it. Now, let's take a look at the workflow from a more general point of view. We'll start off with the background here. This is really intended for professionals. It's intended for professionals who want to produce very good quality outputs. The ones here, we would call them perhaps Instagram quality. And then the ones at the top here, we would probably call this one here the production quality. So you can go for more than 26 steps with this one. And if you've got a more powerful graphics card, a 5080, 5090, or one of the professional cards, the Pro 6000, you could go for a lot more steps and get much higher quality. You could use the lower ones as draft. copies, or you could use them as Instagram outputs. But in any case, what we have is a mood board, and the mood board just gives us an opportunity to look at some images that will impact the prompts that we create. We then have the prompting section, and here we've got two sets of prompts. We've got the prompts here, which is the main prompt, and then we have two specific prompts which are flowing into two different workflows. The first workflow, and I haven't found a way of determining which workflow will go first. It just seems to change randomly between one workflow and the other. But essentially we have one workflow which takes the models and then puts them into this workflow and outputs these sort of Instagram quality outputs. And then we have another workflow which takes the same models. It omits an important step, which is this step here, the LoRA step, and it gives us a full run of 26 or more steps to produce this larger image, this, well, not a larger image, but this higher quality image. Now, when I say higher quality, I'm talking about subjective. Sometimes these images, particularly if you're going to put images on Instagram, you might consider these to be high quality. They've got more contrast, they've got better color. So it is truly subjective. Now, as far as the reason why we can use this as a benchmarking workflow, that is because we are dealing with very, very large models. The QWEN image model itself is about 20 gigabytes. This bad boy here adds a huge amount of weight. Then we've got a LoRA. The LoRA takes the number of steps for the main model and reduces it to 4 steps. So we get these images that we saw on the lower section with 4 steps, just 4 steps. We just need 4 steps, and this is the K-sampler for that particular workflow. So they're using a LoRA in a way that we haven't really seen too much of before, where it's being used to reduce the number of steps or the step count. So this is fine-tuned for 4 steps, and it uses the main diffuser model. What I've then done, and maybe we'll turn on the noodles, I've connected the main model to the second K-sampler, and it's called an extended sampler. It's basically the same as this one. And here we give it 4 steps using the main model, but no LoRA. So it gives it the same treatment as the main workflow. So I call this the mini workflow because it is a 4-step workflow. Now, one way you could take this workflow and adjust it for your own purposes is that you could just go ahead and get rid of this guy here, this extra section. I haven't found a huge difference between the outputs of the 4-step and the outputs of the 4 extra step. This is the 4-step output. This one adds 4 extra step, and it's basically a refinement section where we're trying to refine the original image. We're not refining it in the way that we refine the Stable Diffusion XL outputs. We're refining it just using it a low denoise level. That should, in theory, add detail to the output, but in this particular section, I'm using the Euler ancestral exponential scheduler, and it adds a very, very small amount of detail. But I find that this guy here, the initial 4-step image, sometimes it's just lacking detail, and sometimes you do get extra detail with the extra 4 steps. It's something which you may just decide, okay, this is not doing it for me. I'm just not seeing so much detail here. It just looks like the first one. And in that situation, you can just get rid of this part of the workflow. It's basically outputting this here via a VAE decoder into a batch image processor. So you can easily compare the 2 images in this save image node. Now, the main workflow takes the bare model without the LoRA and then gives it a standard workflow. So we've got 26 steps. And the K-sampler here is just basically surplus to requirement. You can get rid of that. And basically you can adjust this workflow to your own requirements. So the idea here is that you could potentially have a very fast GPU and use it to produce several images. You could maybe duplicate the case sampler. Instead of using an extended case sampler, just create a second case sampler and use the 4-step to run a different seed and then get 2 completely different images. You could create 4 images. That will take less than a couple of minutes to create 4 images at full size using the 4-step. So it's up to you how you adjust it, but you can create a lot of images very, very quickly with the 4-step adapter, with the 4-step LoRA. You can also use it to create a draft image, maybe just turn off or bypass this longer section. This takes about 4 minutes on this very, very primitive sort of 2020 setup. You could bypass this and then just work on the drafts. And when you see a draft that you really like, then you can go and do the full the full render. But the idea behind this is that it's going to produce professional looking results, no matter whether you've got an entry level 16GB GPU or whether you've got an RTX 5090 or one of the really powerful professional GPUs. Now, one thing I really love about this workflow is the idea of the mood board. Now, you could use the images here maybe later on to be a part of the workflow, but as a mood board, you can just click on an image in a browser and just drag it in, and with the latest features inside of ComfyUI, you can just drop the image into the load image node, and you can just leave it there and just use it as inspiration for your workflow. Now, one thing I have done in my workflow, I've used a different addition prompt. I'm using a concatenate text to add a string to the models, to the one which uses the LoRA. I've got a slightly different text to the one that uses the full model, and sometimes that's necessary because you do get very different looking images coming out from these 2 sets of models. If you try to use this and you find that it doesn't complete or it's very slow, that's maybe an indication somewhere that you might want to upgrade some part of your system, or maybe to research what part of your system is not able to run this really fantastic workflow. But with the power of ComfyUI, we can take a 60GB almost workflow and run it on an entry-level system that is, apart from the GPU, like nearly half a decade old. So that's really amazing, and it produces amazing results in a few minutes. I really like this, and I hope you enjoy taking it and playing around with it and just tearing it apart and doing whatever you want. That's the best way to learn about these workflows.